Yuta faces Maki with a wooden practice sword. Maki takes him on with a bow staff as Panda and Togi watch on. Maki lands a blow when Gojo inadvertently distracts Yuta, then finally takes him down. Yuta asks if it was necessary for her to be so brutal during practice. She tells him that he should treat it like a real battle. He gets up and challenges her again. Panda and Gojo discuss Yuta's maturing over the past 3 months at Jujutsu High. Togi agrees. As Panda notices Maki's changes in behavior, he realizes that she hasn't been able to spar with another weapon user. He calls out to Yuta and asks him if he prefers big or small breasts on a woman. Panda excitedly calls out to Maki that she has a chance. Maki is furious and has an argument with Panda off-screen. When Yuta asks Togi what the commotion was all about, Togi just says, "Kelp." Gojo returns with an assignment for Togi, telling him he was specifically requested. Panda explains to Yuta that Togi is the only grade 2 sorcerer among the first years, which permits him to go on missions alone. Yuta is impressed by the status, and Maki thinks to herself how Yuta still doesn't realize he is more powerful as a special grade. Gojo assigns Yuta to go with Togi to observe the use of cursed speech as a means of exercising curses. Gojo tells Yuta that he won't be accompanying them, since this is a mission Togi should be able to do alone. He only warns Yuta not to let Rika out. He tells him if he lets her out, they will both be killed. Yuta is shocked by Gojo's humor at the situation as they are driven away. Yuta and Togi are dropped at the Hapina shopping district, a mostly abandoned area being considered for demolition in order to build a mall. Ijichi debriefs them on the assignment. During inspection, several low-grade curses were found in the shopping center, and Togi was requested to exorcise them. When Yuta notices Togi is absent, he suddenly appears from the corner store with a small bottle of throat spray. Ijichi finishes explaining how important it is that they exorcise the curses. He wishes them both luck and draws a veil. Yuta walks with Togi in search of the curses. They notice a group of curses manifested as a school of talking fish swimming together into a vortex. Togi lowers his scarf, revealing the tribal markings on his face and tongue as he calls out the curse, "Explode!" All curses immediately pop simultaneously and fall to the ground. Yuta asks if that was all they needed to do. Togi replies, "Tuna mayo," with a scratchy voice. Yuta realizes the necessity for the throat spray. He is amazed by Togi's power but understands the cost that comes with it. The veil does not drop, and the two grow suspicious. A powerful curse appears behind the two as a man watches on unseen by them. Togi attempts to break the curse's left hand by calling out "twist," but the effort is too much for him, and he collapses to the ground. Yuta saves him from an attack by the curse and carries him away, dropping the throat spray in the process. Yuta deduces that they will need to exorcise the stronger curse in order to drop the veil. Yuta engages the curse with Rika, allowing her cursed energy to be imbued into the blade. Yuta is able to dodge the curse's attacks while he considers Togi's power and why he only speaks in rice ball ingredients, so as not to speak words that carry curses. Yuta picks up the throat spray where it fell. As he takes a hit by the curse, he throws Togi the throat spray, which he immediately drinks before calling out to the curse, "Get crushed," fully exorcising the curse. Yuta and Togi high-five each other in celebration of their mutual victory. The veil is still up. From afar, the mysterious man from the elementary school monologues about how he was hoping to see the Rika curse, as he too is in a special grade. The curses around him provide Yuta's ID card that he found earlier. The man says that he needs to return the ID to him as well. While Togi waters plants back at the school, Panda discusses his power in more depth with Yuta. Togi was born with cursed speech. As a child, he would sometimes curse people without meaning to. Maki calls Yuta away to train with her. Yuta tries to deflect by asking Maki her advice on imbuing Rika's cursed energy into the katana. Maki tells him not to ask her about cursed energy. At the shopping district, Gojo is given a report on residual curses left after Togi and Yuta finished. Gojo investigates for himself and immediately notices a scent before taking note of all the property damage. He looks up to where the man had been sitting while watching the boys and recalls Ijichi telling him that a second veil was dropped on top of his. Ijichi scolds himself for not being more prepared, but Gojo dismisses it as he was simply outclassed. Ijichi asks Gojo if he knows who did it. Gojo narrates that he is Suguru Geto, a special-grade curse user who was expelled from Jujutsu High along with 3 others for cursing over 100 normal people to death. At Geto's home, a woman anxiously waits with her mother for an audience with the man. Geto sits leaning on a small stool while he describes the young woman's problem. He can see the curse which she cannot. Geto manages to remove the curse and manifest it into a small sphere that he catches in his hand. The young lady immediately feels better and takes her leave, praising Geto with her mother. As they leave, Geto refers to the women as stupid monkeys who cannot use jujutsu. His assistant warns him of his hubris, as she reminds him of his meeting with the leaders. As he gleefully follows his assistant, they are approached by another customer who is very frustrated with Geto's failed exorcism of his curse. Geto swallows the sphere from before and snaps his fingers. A group of small curses suck on the man's face in different areas until blood splatters on the wall. Disgusted, Geto turns to her and reminds her that this is why he calls them monkeys. Geto enters a room and meets with the leaders, a group of his own kids with whom he plans to build a paradise for jujutsu sorcerers, starting by declaring war on Jujutsu High. At the school, Yuta gets a bad feeling, but it is dismissed by his classmates as Gojo, and Principal Masamichi Yaga watch on. Gojo reassures the principal that he is positive it was Geto. Knowing he is on his way, the principal angrily departs and orders all senior sorcerers to meet out front. Maki, Panda, and Toge realize that Yuta's intuition was right, as they notice a curse in the form of a 4-winged pelican that drops off Geto and his gang. Geto immediately rushes to introduce himself to Yuta. He attempts to persuade Yuta to his cause, but is interrupted by Gojo, accompanied by the principal and the rest. To taunt him, Geto calls out Maki as her clan's failure, which she doesn't take well. Geto warns her that the world he envisions doesn't need monkeys like her. With that, Yuta decides that he cannot side with someone who insults his friends. Gojo demands the reason for his presence. Geto announces to the school that he and his gang will conduct the night parade of 100 demons in Shinjuku, Tokyo, and Kyoto. Geto threatens the students with several curses one last time before departing with everyone. In a flashback, we hear Geto discussing his vision for jujutsu sorcerers, in which they are the protectors of non-sorcerers. Gojo disagrees with his philosophy, considering it righteous. In a crowded scene, Geto asks, "Are you the strongest because you're Satoru Gojo, or are you Satoru Gojo because you are the strongest?" Gojo makes a gesture in his direction as he walks away. Afterward, Ijichi presents a report on Geto, revealing that his operation is set up as a sort of religious organization to help cure people of curses. Ijichi confirms that it is likely Geto is in possession of over 2,000, as he warned when visiting. He thinks there could be as many as 50 sorcerers on Geto's side by now. Gojo doesn't see why Geto would try to start a way he couldn't win. Meanwhile, Geto laughs as he mocks the principal's reaction to his team.